environment that UConn will play in this season. And it is striking right now. As you look behind me on the UConn bench, their huddle is tight and small so that they can actually hear each other communicate right now. Gino told them at practice today what to expect, that this was going to be crazy. And he looked at them and said, listen, during the game, you can't count on me. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. But you've got to learn how to count on each other. And I see that tight huddle, arms around each other. UConn huddling up for a real battle here tonight.
Well, Gino Auriemma knows this rivalry well, and so does Kelly Harper as a player and now as a coach. She brought up that very thing Holly mentioned, Rebecca, having the fans back in full force for this matchup, UConn and Tennessee. Lopez Seneschal kicks, Mule lines it up, and Nika Mule knocks down the three, and you can see her elation.
Tennessee starting in a man-to-man, huge for Connecticut if they can get Mule to hit from outside.
Jordan Walker, such a steady force defensively running the point. Here's Puckett, out to Striplin, nice backdoor pass, up and in. Rickea Jackson with Tennessee's first bucket.
And that's a matchup to keep an eye on. Aaliyah Edwards guarding Rickea Jackson. Edwards has the advantage inside, Jackson out.
Juhas the toss out, the three won't go for Lopez Seneschal, who has shot it just remarkably well from three, 49% this season for the Fairfield transfer as Griffin snares the rebound, looking to push for UConn. Juhas turns the corner, floats it up short. Aaliyah Edwards looking to clean it up and does.
It's just interesting on this end. Sarah Puckett has the defensive assignment of guarding Aaliyah Edwards. Let Rickea Jackson take a breath on that end of the floor.
A reminder that Jordan Horston will come off the bench. Jackson started against Missouri in the game Horston missed due to illness. A fantastic late comeback from Tennessee. Walker stops, a lot of contact, no call, shot clock fading, and it's controlled by Juhas. Here is Edwards. Edwards slashing, just lost it. It's going to stay here with Connecticut.
But that's where she's a handful, is when she catches the basketball around the free throw line area, because this year she can score from there. Last year wasn't consistent. Defensively, you come out on her, she drives by.
Last year averaged under 8 points per game. This year over 17. Mule at the bottom of the rim, controlled by Tennessee and Tess Darby.
Both teams looking to push offensively.
Puckett short on her three, and it will tilt out of bounds to Connecticut.
It's going to be important for Tennessee to get some balanced scoring from the perimeter. Sarah Puckett, a player who was 3 for 3 from the perimeter, from outside three in their last game against Missouri.
Tennessee in the bottom 15% as far as the percentage of their points that come from three. Juhas no. Edwards again on the offensive glass with the putback. UConn was concerned about Tennessee on the offensive glass, but early on, it's been Aaliyah Edwards doing that work. Darby lets it fly and knocks down the triple.
So important to hit those outside shots and give your players spacing and room to maneuver, in particular Rickea Jackson, so she can get some drives.
Darby 41% from three on the season. Jumper is good, the silky stroke of Lou Lopez Seneschal.
She can just get her own shot. She can get her own shot, whether it's from three or off the one dribble.
Seneschal comes up with a steal. Here is Mule, leads the country in assists, and that's why. What a dime. She drops in the lap of Aaliyah Edwards.
Beautiful pass and a great job running the floor by Aaliyah Edwards.
Edwards 3 of 3 from the floor to start this game. Mule averaging just under 9 assists per game. Walker trapped by Mule, comes up with a steal. Mule the get ahead. Griffin races in and finishes.
I think Kelly Harper might want to call a timeout. Connecticut's got the momentum here. They're causing problems on the defensive end of the floor.
Kelly Harper getting ready to send in 3 subs, including Jordan Horston. Face-up jumper, smooth from Caroline Strickland, the sophomore forward. 54% from the floor on the season, and again, another delivery. Mule creating a layup. Lopez Seneschal on the receiving end.
Well, when you play against Tennessee, you know they like to get out and hard deny. Connecticut that time gets the back door as a result.
So Kelly Harper will indeed go to the bench. Jillian Hollingshed will come in along with Jordan Horston, who missed that game Sunday due to illness, but is having a terrific season. Over 15 points per.
And now the matchup to watch, Jordan Horston and Aubrey Griffin. Two great athletes with good size on the perimeter.
Depending on what mock draft you look at, both Horston and Rakia Jackson projected as top 10 picks in the WNBA. Another layup for UConn. This time Edwards the setup to Griffin. Horston on the drive, the floater too strong, rebound poked out. Hollingshed dips inside and finishes. We're seeing Jillian Hollingshed really come along of late. The talent has been there. Mule, deep catch, UAS couldn't finish it after a nice steal. Here's Powell, shoveling. Jackson will fire, no. Mule trying to control the rebound, could not. She last hit it. Tennessee basketball, a strong start for Connecticut, a 17-9 lead midway through the first.
The UConn Huskies lead the nation in assists per game, one of the most unselfish teams out there. Head up, your big is running the floor. What do? You pass and you reward her, and then the big will pass to the guard as well. Pretty unselfish basketball.
The year. Caroline Ducharme missed the game in November. More injuries than AZ Fudd, hurts her knee. A little game here or there spread throughout the rest of the roster. Ducharme in concussion protocols, that's still active, but re-injures the knee. She's still out as well. And you know what? Even Jonathan the Husky
Had a spleen removed.
Yeah. No one can escape the rash of injuries at UConn right now.
They can't.
Last two seasons, 148 games lost due to injury. Now, I will say at least AZ has adorable crutches.
Maybe the best crutches ever.
Yeah, which when you think about it, why isn't the top part more cushioned? Does anyone really like the feeling of that bar under their armpit?
They do not. And right now, Connecticut coming out not liking the feeling of their man-to-man and in a zone and able to rebound out of it.
Not only are the crutches adorable, but she has named those puppies. It's Nathan and John. So AZ is really making herself at home with those two little, what do we call them, crush puppies?
Yeah, or they mini huskies. Of course, only Holly would know the name of the puppies on the crutches as Mule hits the jump.
And Connecticut continues to get great looks. That time, Mule just coming off an on-ball screen, left wide open.
Hollingshed gets the roll. Didn't have much of an angle, but still able to finish.
UHA's played really good defense and great shot by Hollingshed to keep her balance and shoot over her.
The three is good. Lopez Seneschal takes a tumble after the delivery. UConn has hit 8 of its last 9 shots. Lopez Seneschal has just been terrific for Connecticut. Coming over from Fairfield. Hollingshed again gets inside using the window.
And a really nice pick and roll and delivery by Jordan Horston. Horston is very good at finding open teammates. Great vision and ability to deliver the basketball.
Another jumper is down for Lou Lopez Seneschal.
She can get to the spots on the floor she wants to get to, and that's half the battle when you're a jump shooter.
9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. She's averaging 17 a game. Connecticut getting really high percentage shots in this first quarter. Knocked away by Edwards. Connecticut comes up with a steal. Here is Mule. Eyes up. Dishes back. UHA's connects on a 3. Big time start for Connecticut. And a timeout taken by the Lady Vols.
Connecticut shooting over 70% from the floor, getting good looks, and it feels like they're draining them all.
Back in 30 seconds. Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe with you. What a start from Lou Lopez Seneschal. Holly, quite the story for this young woman.
That's right. She grew up in France but wanted to play American college basketball, so she went to a basketball academy in Ireland. Then her stepfather started emailing out resumes and videos. She ended up at Fairfield for 4 years. As a grad transfer, they saw her play overseas and thought maybe she'd be a good fit at UConn, and here she is. She said 5 years later, I would have never guessed in my whole life that I'd be playing at UConn, one of the best programs in the country, but here she is, knocking down shots, playing with a lot of confidence.
UAS dips inside for the finish.
Both times after a timeout, Connecticut's come out in a zone just to try to thwart whatever Kelly Harper had drawn up, and then they go back to their man-to-man. This is
Mule takes the foul after the stop.
First foul in the ballgame, and that favors Connecticut. This is a team with a limited roster who cannot afford to get into foul trouble. That's the first one of the game.
On Sunday, catch an ACC top 25 matchup between number 7 Notre Dame, number 20 NC State. The Irish tied to the top of conference standings, looking for their 5th straight win. Women's college basketball between Notre Dame and NC State Sunday for Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Connecticut has made 11 of its last 12 shots. Here's Edwards, methodically working her way in, could not finish it. Crowd wanted to travel, instead they get a missed shot. Horston stops, takes, and gets fouled. Lopez Seneschal whistled for the personal, and Horston will go to the line.
Jordan Horston was begging for the basketball early in that possession, jumping up and down, wanting it, because she knew Lopez Seneschal doesn't have the height to stay where they're in. Horston is so good off the bounce, getting in the paint, using that size and athletic ability to get her shot off. And my mistake for mentioning fouls. We got 2 of them now.
Well, Jordan Horston, little hoop scoop, hugs stadium workers before each home game. How lovely is that?
That's a bright, shiny thing to do.
I agree.
Maybe not during COVID.
I feel like that's something L. Duncan would do.
Yeah, I agree.
Hug all employers and employees walking into the building as Edwards again gets a layup set up by Mule. Nika Mule has 7 assists in this opening quarter.
It's what she does. Well, to the end.
Yeah.
To the end.
An extreme example of what she does thus far, and Connecticut has dominated the start of this game. And Kelly Harper talking to us before the game, we were just asking her about UConn-Tennessee rivalry at this moment in time, and she said, I think it's a really good game for our team right now to see how far we've come, to see where we're at. You know, after a tough start to the season, Tennessee winning 14 of 16. Thus far, it has been all Connecticut.
I mean, Connecticut's shooting such a high percentage because they're getting great shots and they're sharing the ball well. And I know Connecticut has started pretty well from the 3-point line, 3 for 5, but I'd be curious to see how soon Tennessee might go into a zone, try to take away the paint, send some doubles to the bigs inside.
Jump shot rattles in for Horston. The first field goal of the game. Ten-second difference, game and shot clock. Edwards faces up and banks it in. Was it called? We'll never know.
I can answer that.
10 points for Aaliyah Edwards. She's 5 of 6 from the floor in this opening quarter. It is a 16-point Connecticut lead. Shot clock turned off. Mule very aggressive defensively. Ball scatters free. Hook shot won't go. Edwards secures. And that is about as well as Connecticut could have hoped for the first quarter to go. A 33-17 lead. Kelly Harper continuing the legacy of Pat Summer. More on that when we start the second. Well, Kelly Harper in her 4th season as head coach of the Lady Vols, but before that, she starred as a point guard, winning 3 national championships under Pat Summitt, continuing her legacy here at Rocky Top. Kelly Harper 4-1 as a player against Connecticut, 0-3 thus far as a head coach. You see those national championships, 3 straight, as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Kelly Harper was such a great player here at Tennessee. She wasn't just any player. She was the starting point guard on a team that went 39-0. And when we talked to her today about her memories playing against UConn, being 4-1, she said, I definitely remember one game. I was the facilitator. I passed to other people, but right before the game was to tip off, they told me, the coaching staff said, you go in and be aggressive. She said, I ran out, I got the first basket of the game, and that is my enduring memory. And she also said, everybody's always going to bring up Pat Summitt. She said, it doesn't bother me at all because I loved her and she's part of this place and I will always respect that.
Yeah, that was interesting, Holly, because I know, Rebecca, you picked up on something that Gino Auriemma brought up at the end of his media session the other day, just when he was talking about this rivalry and the expectations that have been laid for both of these programs.
He's talking about the unfair pressure on this current Tennessee coach, this current Tennessee group of players. And it was a great answer from Kelly Harper when she just said, I'm okay with it. I don't look at it as pressure. It's just part of being at Tennessee.
Foul is called against Griffin, so free throws here for Rakia Jackson off of Connecticut's first turnover of the game.
I think it's just smart by Tennessee. Rakia Jackson is a handful when she is driving to the basket. So is Jordan Horston. So continue to take it there. See if you can get the whistle blown, because we've talked about already how small Connecticut's bench is, and if you can get them into foul trouble, huge upside for Tennessee.
Rakia Jackson misses the first. The Mississippi State transfer, 3rd in the SEC in points per game. You see the numbers have grown from that over the last 8, averaging 21 per game. Misses both free throws here. Lopez Seneschal off to Edwards, who had 10 in the first. Mule had 7 assists in the first, tried to dump that one into Edwards, and back-to-back turnovers forced by Tennessee.
Good post-up, bad floating pass.
Wow, what a play by Griffin, who's going to draw the foul. First flying in for the steal, then getting position to save it, and taking the contact all the way.
Aubrey Griffin is a next-level athlete. Look at her on the left side of the floor, sprinting back, sees that Hollingshed is ahead of her and reads it beautifully.
What a great angle to see the way that she flew into that play. We were talking with Gino Auriemma before the game about Griffin, and he said in some ways the injuries have helped her because she's just so confident right now. As Griffin misses the jumper there, he said there's no looking over her shoulder. If she makes a mistake, she's not wondering, oh, am I going to come out? And she's the kind of player that thrives on confidence, forces another turnover here.
It was a similar situation for me my sophomore year, limited roster due to injuries, and Coach Auriemma said to me one time, I don't want you in the game, but I have no one else to put in. And there is a freedom for players in that situation.
So you started taking 20-foot fallaways? Yeah. Here's Walker off the steal all the way in for 2.
This is what it's going to take for Tennessee to cut into this lead, is to continue to up the pressure defensively, get some stops, try to get some easy looks the other way.
Getting the crowd into it. 3 turnovers already in the quarter from UConn. Uhas, Here comes Tennessee again pushing. What a pass! Horston to Jackson for 2.
Stop, transition, score. That's the formula for success for Tennessee.
And that is going the other way. Another Connecticut turnover.
Tennessee needs to create offense from their defense. Great steal, then to get out and transition. Ooh, a little poke in the eye as well. And great defensive board. Horston head up, wow. Beautifully done, passing the ball to Rakia Jackson.
And that is number 2 on Lou Lopez Seneschal.
They have very little depth and only one guard off the bench.
The assistant coaches of Connecticut had to duck and cover on that pass. Another Tennessee turnover, their 8th. Connecticut has 4 in the second quarter. They did not turn it over in the first. Uhas. Oh, Edwards, that's going to be another offensive foul. Wow. Franklin took the contact. And that is 5 turnovers. And yeah, Gino Auriemma needs a little exhale.
Connecticut so under control in the first quarter and having some issues here in the second. Aaliyah Edwards trying to get good post-up position. What'd you think?
I think it was a foul. Is Tennessee just bringing a little more physicality here in this second quarter?
Yeah, they're having the opportunity to because they're getting some scores, better job setting up their defense.
Now they just keep turning it over themselves. That is 9 turnovers in the first half.
Connecticut able to take advantage in the first quarter of Tennessee's overplay, getting back cuts, threading the needle. Tennessee doing a better job now applying the pressure but not allowing the pressure releases.
Is that not the perfect shot of a head coach of seeing opportunities slip by? Lopez Seneschal, oh yeah. Gino Auriemma talking to us today said, you know, I watched her at Fairfield in non-conference games against good competition. I said, ooh, she's pretty good. Then I watched her when she came here and I said, oh, she's a pro. He said, you're not going to see her on many draft boards, but make no mistake, she is a pro and is going to help someone in the WNBA.
You know who else is going to help someone? Rickea Jackson.
Yeah. Lopez Seneschal short on the 3. Uhas thought about it. Back into the arms of Mule. Mule had 7 assists in the opening quarter. Mule dishes. Edwards lines it up. Doesn't get the roll. Horston the rebound. Tennessee trying to push pace. Here is Jackson. Spinning, taking. A little too strong. Got it back. Tennessee, another chance. And still plenty of time to operate. Puckett will settle things down with Walker. Jordan Walker looking back to Kelly Harper for instruction. Shot clock down to 5. High screen from Jackson. It frees Horston. Off the mark on the jump shot.
Last possession by Connecticut, I thought both.
Griffin sears to the hoop for the easy lay.
I thought both Lopez Seneschal and Aaliyah Edwards' shots looked a little tired. Important to note, Connecticut has not subbed yet in this basketball game. Aubrey Griffin did not look tired on the layup, though.
Yeah, Kelly Harper was joking with us before the game. She said, you know, they may be the one team in the country that it doesn't matter what their depth is because they can just play 5 players all game. As Jackson again able to massage her way to the line. We'll step aside. Connecticut, a 14-point lead, getting opportunities in transition.
9 of Connecticut's 37 points have been on the break, and one of the best to do it right there, Aubrey Griffin.
Big start to this game for Lou Lopez Seneschal.
She can simply get to where she wants to get to on the floor and squares her shoulders up quickly. Beautiful float on her shot. This is a young woman who certainly looks like a pro.
We heard Holly talk about her background. Born in Guadalajara, Mexico. Then she moved on to France, was raised there, then said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Dublin. Train in Ireland, and then after 4 years at Fairfield, where she was the MAC Player of the Year a season ago, has transferred to UConn and fit right in. Of course, you see the numbers she put up at Fairfield, and there's a natural wondering, okay, is that going to translate to a place like UConn? Well, oh yeah, it has translated big time. And it was interesting, Gino Auriemma, we talked about the way he was raving about her as a pro, and just when we thought he was done raving about her, he stopped and he said, yeah, I really love her.
And he said, you know, she can't, after, you know, having to take every big shot a season ago, her first 4 years at Fairfield, he said she came here was probably thinking, I'm going to get some help, and instead,
she's taking every big shot. Ooh, foul on Uhas. Nice job by Horston. That's one thing, Tennessee has been able to get to the line here a little bit in this second quarter, getting some opportunities in transition as well. UConn will check out, and now Connecticut goes to their bench. Ayanna Patterson, who Gino Auriemma thought could factor into this particular matchup, comes in.
I think Tennessee has just done a really good job at attacking the paint, attacking the glass, getting inside, and as a result, they're getting to the free throw line. And it's funny, this is actually an early sub for Connecticut. Their last couple games, they didn't have their first sub until about 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Holly?
Well, Gino Auriemma told us before the game that he did not want his team putting Tennessee on the free throw line. He said if you look at their scoring, 75 points a game, they're getting about 15 points a game from the line, 30 points a game from second chance points, or excuse me, 25. If we can limit that, we're right in this ball game. I don't think they can take enough perimeter shots to beat us if we don't put them on the line, but they're doing that here in the second quarter. They've got to quit fouling.
Griffin once again finds an angle. Yeah, about those second chance points. Tennessee top 5 in the nation in that category. That three is short. Rebound banked around. There's a second chance opportunity. Jackson cleans it up for Tennessee.
And this is a good chance for Tennessee to get some more second chance points with Dorka Juhas on the bench. She's Connecticut's best rebounder, has more size than Patterson.
And if you're Tennessee, think about, hey, getting into halftime with it at single digits. That is going to be a foul against Jackson as Edwards will go to the line. Hey, Saturday on ESPN, it's the annual Big 12 SEC Challenge. It all starts with those 3 games. Auburn, West Virginia at noon, then number 2 Alabama and Oklahoma before Baylor takes on Arkansas. Then at night, number 10 Texas and number 4 Tennessee right here in this building. And then number 9 Kansas takes on Kentucky. College basketball Saturday at noon, 2, 4, 6, and 8 on ESPN. How?
Really good to see the UT men's team here supporting the ladies. Zakai Ziegler, you see Uroš Plavšić. They are a really good team, terrific right now, and they'll have their hands full when Texas comes to town. It'll be fun for Rick Barnes, the head coach, who of course used to coach Texas, but really fun to have college game day men here. And I love that the Vols men are here supporting their women.
And it's just been an incredible period of time for Tennessee sports. Kelly Harper was talking to us about the vibe right now here in Knoxville after the season that their football team had, the way both the men and women are playing of late. Horston knocks down the 3 and is fired up afterwards. The deficit cut to single digits.
And here we go, Tennessee. This is a chance for them to re-engage their crowd, use their home court advantage, go on a run going into half.
Griffin didn't want to take it. Here is Mule. Largest lead for Connecticut was 16. Now down to 9 after that Horston 3.
Jordan Horston, she can handle the basketball, find open teammates, and do this as well. Only shooting 29% from 3 on the season, but very capable from the perimeter.
9 points for Horston, 9 for Jackson to lead the way for Tennessee. Lopez Seneschal bangs inside, and that is going to be a charge, and that is number 3 on Lou Lopez Seneschal.
We talked about her ability to get to her spots.
That does not look like a charge.
No.
That is a block.
Yes.
6th turnover of the quarter for Connecticut.
You can be moving, you just have to own the real estate. She did not put the for sale sign down or the sold sign down in there.
Another Tennessee turnover. 10 this half for Kelly Harper's squad, and Lopez Seneschal has to check out for Connecticut. Juhas back in, so Connecticut goes with a big lineup here with Edwards, Patterson, and Juhas all in the game.
Talked about they have very limited guard depth on their bench.
Paige Becker's out, AZ Fudd, and a foul here. Crowd does not like that one called against Tess Darby.
But because of the lack of ball handlers right now on the floor for Connecticut, smart by Tennessee. Ratchet it up a little bit more in terms of your defensive intensity.
14th foul against Tennessee. Walker back in. Here's Edwards. Using the jab step, gonna back away. Edwards trying to find a lane, gets denied by Horston. Puckett methodically takes it up the floor. Hollingshed flips it up and off, but draws the foul and will go back to the line.
Jordan Horston, 6'2" guard. She's long, and what an athlete. Aaliyah Edwards does not get her shot blocked very often by guards. Beautifully done, and then Horston sprinting the other way.
The kind of athlete that almost makes you speechless.
Certainly.
Hey, I'm excited for halftime.
Me
After
too.
game day, come on. Jeep halftime report. There's our crew. Carolyn, Drea, Elle. Hi, guys. Looking forward to them at the half.
I think they're watching the game like some fans do, and they have us on mute.
On mute. A 7-0 Tennessee run. Edwards finally subs out. Amari DeBerry in for Connecticut. A little more than 2 minutes to go. Griffin drops it, gets it back. Mule will fire. No. Rebound Horston. Real opportunity here for the Lady Vols. Horston flips it up short. Got it back. Horston waits and finishes. Tennessee has shaved a 16-point deficit down to 5.
I absolutely love how hard Jordan Horston has been competing since she entered this game off the bench. Misses the shot, she goes and gets it. Doesn't get boxed out, scores. She has been a terrific leader for this Lady Vol team so far. And how are teammates feeling about it? I loved her early in the game when she was running in transition, didn't get the basketball, and was showing her teammates, like, give me the ball. She has come ready to play.
How about this second quarter from Tennessee? They have outscored Connecticut 18-7. They have forced 6 turnovers. Keep in mind, this is a Connecticut team that in the first quarter put up 33 points. Also, we heard Holly talk to us about the importance of keeping Tennessee off the offensive glass for Gino Auriemma. Well, they are up to 9 offensive rebounds in this first half. Griffin coughs it up, out of bounds. Seven turnovers in the quarter for Connecticut. Closest this game has been since it was 7-2. Connecticut really came out of the gates with a blitz of the Lady Vols, but great resiliency here in the second quarter from Tennessee. Puckett flashes, left it short. Patterson secures for Connecticut.
This is a Tennessee team in their last game. They were down 5 in the last minute, able to come back 8-0 run and win that game. They have resiliency.
And they nearly had another turnover. Here's Mule. The little leaner banks off. Rebound Puckett. Tennessee basketball. 50 seconds to go in the first half. Walker gets fouled and more free throws coming for Tennessee.
You heard Holly talk about Gino Auriemma saying one of the keys is to not put Tennessee at the free throw line. Connecticut is shooting 58% in this game from the floor. And so number one, you got to take care of the glass because you don't want to give too many extra opportunities. But right here, this is where Tennessee has really thrived, is getting to the free throw line.
Now these will be the 11th and 12th free throws for Tennessee. And they have really taken advantage of 7 Connecticut turnovers in this second quarter. Lady Vols not ranked this week, very close to getting back into the top 25 with their 9-game winning streak. Kelly Harper certainly thought they should have been.
I agree.
First time these teams have ever met with one of them unranked. It's the 26th meeting. Juhas banked it too strong. Loose ball, last hit Griffin, and will head out of bounds to Tennessee. Great effort from Edwards, but just a second too late.
Tennessee can and should hold for the last shot. And after the first quarter, 33-17, this could go into halftime as a one-possession game.
A remarkable turnaround. Shot clock turned off. One more chance for Tennessee here. Powell kicks it to the corner. That three won't go for Puckett. Knocked out of bounds to Connecticut. And Tennessee shot that a little early with 3.8 left to operate for Connecticut.
Still probably only going to get a heave.
Yeah. A chuck.
I like a heave.
We'll go with heave.
I mean the word.
I figured as much. Here's Mule. Here's the heave. And that'll do it for the first half. First quarter dominated by UConn. Second quarter, all Tennessee. And it's a 4-point game as we head to halftime. And Gino Auriemma is with Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Auriemma, you told me before the game you couldn't put them on the free throw line or allow second chance points. How do you address that with your team in the locker room?
How do I address it? How do I address it? You don't address it. This is what you get when you come down here. The game was called one way and then it changed. Nope, nothing else changed. We didn't change. Nothing else changed.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, Gino Auriemma is obviously fired up about the officiating in that second quarter. So plenty to talk about for the Jeep Halftime Report. El? As we honor Pat Summitt and her continued impact on women's basketball, both on and off the court. Yeah, there was a lot to get excited about in that first half. What a difference between the first and second quarters. It all leads to a 4-point Connecticut lead. Let's take a listen into Kelly Harper's Tennessee halftime.
All right, listen. You got 20 minutes in you. This is absolute toughness. This is absolute grit, absolute focus, relentless for 20 minutes. Okay? You don't back down to anybody.
Well, Kelly Harper trying to rally her troops. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Rebecca, we have to start with what we saw from Gino Auriemma, his reaction at the end of the half and Holly's walk-off interview. Irate about the officiating in the second quarter.
I've seen a lot of Coach Auriemma interviews. I've never seen him that angry, and I've never seen him or heard him talk about the officials in the middle of a game. Lou Lopez Seneschal's charge, her third foul, was not the right call, and he has to be especially frustrated because she's such an important piece for him. What changed mostly between the first and second quarter was Connecticut missing shots and Connecticut turning the basketball over. And when they did that, they were not able to get back in transition defense. Were cross-matched at times. And Tennessee used that against them. They were driving to the rim, making the officials blow the whistle. It's going to be vitally important for Connecticut in order to set up their defense when they get there to start making their shots again.
Since quarters were established, Connecticut just had the largest regression in scoring from one quarter to the next in women's college basketball, as Edwards can't finish it. Scored 33 in the first and just 7 in the second. Jackson, no. Jordan Horston starting the second half. She came off the bench in the first half. In transition, that's going to be a charge. Mika Mule is called for the personal.
Jordan Walker leads Tennessee in charges. This is her 12th of the year. Establishes position.
Again, I'm not sure she does establish position. I think she kind of slid over to meet Mule where she was headed. Walker so tough, always willing to sacrifice her body. Horston gets it back and flips it in. Jordan Horston asserting herself on the offensive glass. 13 points now to go with 6 rebounds.
Tennessee +7 on the offensive glass, +10 in second chance points. That's what Tennessee has always done. It's not the first shot, but the second that hurts you.
Uhas gets fouled, and Dorka Uhas will shoot 2. You can't help but think of last year against NC State, the injury that Dorka Uhas suffered. A tough one to look at, a tough one for her teammates to experience. Gino Auriemma talked about the emotional fortitude of that group to still win that game, that epic double overtime game against NC State after Uhas's injury. Here's Edwards. She gets fouled after the offensive rebound and will go back to the line. Aaliyah Edwards will go to the line to shoot 2. Let's take a look at Wendy's wooden watch. And Aaliyah Edwards, incredible improvement from Aaliyah Edwards last season to this season. What for you, Rebecca, has been the biggest areas of growth?
Number one is her consistency every single day and being a force inside. You see that she's more than doubled her points per game, significant increase in rebounds, doubled her assists per game, and we talked about it early. Her expanding so that she's such a threat now around the free throw line area out to 3.
Holly?
Well, Aaliyah said that she would watch opponents sag off of her last year, and that really made her feel some kind of way. So she got in the gym. Her and Jamel Elliott, they got into the gym. They would get on the shooting gun and work the free throw line out to the 3-point line. Anything past 17 feet. She wants to make sure that opponents are guarding her everywhere on the floor, and she put in the work this summer in this preseason to make sure that would happen.
That was another sensational rejection from Horston. Thank you, Hal.
How about the way Connecticut's playing defense, though, in terms of they were in a zone the last possession, and when players have driven, Connecticut's put their hands back and kind of stepped away. They know how important it is not to get the foul call, and there, a charge is called on Tennessee.
It was like charges are wild here tonight.
So what do we see out of this one?
I mean, I don't think position's established there either.
Monitor review?
They are going to take a look at this play. 8:18 to go in the third quarter. Connecticut and Tennessee in a tight one. Very much in the restricted area. 5-point game, third quarter. Kelly Harper asked for a review of this play as to whether or not there should have been a block instead of a charge because of the restricted area and where Aubrey Griffin was.
So of course we know where the restricted area is, but where the player catches it, if she's in the lower defensive box, then the restricted area no longer comes into play. So that's important here as well. So where does Hollingshed catch the ball? So that's what the officials are looking at. Because if she is in the lower defensive box, it doesn't matter if Griffin is in the restricted area, which on the replay we saw, she was.
She is, yeah. Now, hard to hear the announcement, but judging by the crowd, it sounds like the call was indeed reversed. Rebecca's getting the explanation right now from Gina Cross, and then we'll relay it to us. So it's a defensive foul on Griffin, which means free throws for Tennessee.
So very close. She said she was barely out of the lower defensive box. So that's what they were looking at. So a great job by Kelly Harper, because a coach at any point in the game can call for that review, and then if they're wrong, they lose a timeout.
Right. So Kelly Harper with an outstanding decision, and as a result, gets 2 free throws rather than a turnover. So here is Jillian Hollingshed, who hits the first.
How do you think Coach Auriemma is going to feel about that reversal?
Yeah. I'm not sure anything excites you more than examining whether or not a play developed in the lower defensive box. Tennessee is going to have possession after the L ball, and Gino Auriemma is shaking his head. A 43-39 Connecticut lead, 11 offensive rebounds now for Tennessee. Here's Jackson. Jackson into the paint, floats it in. It is a 2-point game. Connecticut led by 16 in the first half.
Look what Connecticut's starting their offense because of Tennessee's pressure defense.
Mule can't slide it in. And out of bounds was Puckett, so another chance here for Connecticut.
Rickea Jackson is such a force when she puts the ball on the floor. Aaliyah Edwards is a terrific defender, guarding players off the bounce, but that time Rickea Jackson still able to get where she wanted to go.
11 for Jackson. Here is Edwards all the way in, finishes that one. 15 for Aaliyah Edwards. Nice hands, UAS comes up with a steal. Mule down the floor. Seneschal knocks in the 3. A big one for Lou Lopez Seneschal. And just like that, a little 5-0 response from Connecticut, and the lead is back to 7.
Seen Connecticut go zone at times this quarter. It's one of the things you can do when the opponent is beating you off the bounce, which Tennessee has been able to do consistently.
Jackson floats it back. Walker dumps it in. 2 to shoot. Reverse won't go. Hollingshed another chance here. Tennessee wins the possession back. That is going to be out of bounds as Tennessee turns it over.
Aaliyah Edwards leading Connecticut in scoring with 15. She is good. She goes either right or left. Strong either way. And Connecticut, you see too, trying to get a little bit more, getting into the paint to see if they can get to the free throw line as well here in the third quarter, Ryan.
Lopez Seneschal on the drive, had it poked away, and a whistle against Walker. The gritty, tough defender for Tennessee. And after a start to this game with almost no whistles and incredible pace, it has certainly tightened up. Edwards floats it in. No call on the contact with Horston. 17 for Aaliyah Edwards. Rattling in a 3, Sarah Puckett ends a 7-0 Connecticut run.
Tennessee has only made 3 threes in this game, but it feels like they've all come at just the right time.
Ooh, Mule getting into it with Horston now.
Don't tell me this rivalry is dead. UConn, Tennessee, man. It feels like these players on both sides today are playing as if they know all the history. So fouls called, dead ball.
There's definitely heightened intensity.
Yes.
Edwards, outstanding seal, just couldn't finish it. Here comes Jackson, pushing pace, the crossover, and that is going to be a charge. Mule takes the contact. The 13th Tennessee turnover. And in this case, there's no restricted area to appeal to. Oh, wow. I mean, again, it feels like Mule is sliding on the crossover.
Yeah, without question she is.
There have been 3 or 4 what seem like obvious blocks that have been called charges, and they've been equal opportunity for both teams when it comes to what appear to be incorrect calls.
Look at this defense.
On the cut, Lopez Seneschal finishes. Nice delivery from Uhas. Here is Darby, no on a 3. Outstanding rebound, the possession saved. Puckett rims out, rebound loose, last hit Connecticut, it'll stay here with Tennessee. Outstanding work from Jasmine Franklin to keep the possession alive initially.
And on that second shot, Connecticut had inside position, and then 2 teammates went for the basketball, and it ends up out of bounds.
13 offensive rebounds for Tennessee. That was a big focus for UConn, trying to keep the Lady Vols off the offensive glass. Here's Horston. Short, another offensive rebound. It'll stay right here. Aubrey Griffin whistled for the personal. Again, it was Franklin doing work. That'll be the first. Check that. It'll be the 3rd on Griffin. So 3 on Lopez Seneschal, 3 on Griffin, 3 on Rakia Jackson for Tennessee, who is currently on the bench. Franklin, no. Lou Lopez Seneschal with 16 points. Edwards has 17. That 3 rims in. Lopez Seneschal. Here's Horston curling it up and off. Late whistle, but clear contact. And free throws here for Horston.
Lou Lopez Seneschal, we've talked about her getting to her spots. Great backdoor cut to score inside, and how good has she been from the perimeter as well today. UConn's got the 11-point lead.
Tennessee has won the national championship.
34+ seasons, 1,000 career wins.
History happened here.
Pat Summitt and Destiny have met.
Her eyes, her intensity, her strength will always be remembered.
No matter how much success you have in life, that doesn't make you a bigger or a better person than anyone else. And all I want to do, because of the position I have, is somehow help other people.
Well, we continue to celebrate the legacy and impact of Pat Summitt, 8 national championships. Pat Summitt Foundation, founded by Pat and Tyler Summitt in November of 2011. The mission to award grants to nonprofit organizations that advance research for treatment and a cure for Alzheimer's disease. Kelly Harper, a player under Pat Summitt, who won 3 national championships and now trying to get her team back down 11 in this 3rd quarter, Holly.
Well, it's no surprise that she's talking defense in the huddle. That's what Pat Summitt would have done, and that's what Kelly Harper's doing right now. She said to her team, 11 gets nothing. She's referring to Lopez Seneschal, and said she gets nothing. They're giving her too many looks, letting her get to the basket, and then she reminded them to move their feet against Aaliyah Edwards, number 3.
A press here from Tennessee. Connecticut's got to get it across, and they just do. Griffin in trouble, and we're going to have a held ball and Connecticut possession. And Kelly Harper is trying to say it should have been a 10-second violation.
I think the ball was across when the shot clock got to 20, but what a great decision by Tennessee after that free throw to pick up in full court pressure and didn't force a turnover, but forced the change in possession.
You see the big names produced in big ways thus far tonight for both teams. Well, Lopez Seneschal, she got another look.
Gino Orama said this morning, I don't see her name on any draft boards. You might have to today.
Yeah, this might be the last time that's the case.
Yeah.
10 in the quarter. She's 9 for 12 in the game and has 21 points. Horston, no. Flag down in the corner, and another chance here for Tennessee.
Tough to rebound out of the zone, but in fairness, it's been tough to keep Tennessee off the offensive glass since the first quarter.
Mule on the run with it. Nika Mule, eyes up, finds Griffin. Her three is good. Connecticut's lead has ballooned to 15. Darby trying to answer and does in the corner. A much-needed three for Tennessee. Tennessee had cut the Connecticut lead to 2 twice this quarter, but Connecticut able to weather that storm. Mule has 12 assists in the game. Here's Edwards spinning and finishing. 19 for Aaliyah Edwards.
She can drive either way, but she loves to go back over that right shoulder around the rim.
Nice move, Jordan Horston. 16 now for Horston, and a timeout taken. 12-point game, 2:47 to go in this third.
Jordan Horston with 16 points, 6 rebounds. She's assisting the basketball as well. This is a 6'2" player, ball handler, quickness, leaves Nika Mule as she makes a nice move getting to the rim. Been so good today, coming off a game that she missed because of sickness.
Hey, really looking forward to this 7-part documentary on the history of SEC basketball. It's coming to SEC Network. New episodes will air every Monday through March 13th, with the premiere episode this coming Monday at 9 Eastern. Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball, premiering Monday at 9 Eastern on SEC Network and the ESPN app. I mean, look at how excited that human being is for this documentary.
You love docu-series.
I really do.
You love series, especially if they have Yoda in them.
That's true. Oh, I can't wait for the return of The Mandalorian, March 1st on Disney+.
You and my son both.
And my 16-month-old daughter, Everly, who has
Raising her
become
right.
obsessed with Grogu, aka Baby Yoda. 62-50, UConn in front. 2:42 to go in this third. Tennessee again applying some full court pressure. Gets across to Edwards. Mule did a nice job with poise. Here's Griffin. Slashing, forcing, didn't have the angle. Great D on that possession from Tennessee.
Franklin's got a mouse in the house, and they didn't see her. She had Nika Mule guarding her. Still does.
One of the truly great basketball phrases.
Just, yes.
Darby can't hit the three. Another offensive rebound, another putback, but it will not count. Another offensive foul, and that's a huge one because it would have been number 4 on Lopez Seneschal.
I'd like to see the replay, but on the naked eye, it looked like Horston ducks her shoulder and gets into Lou Lopez Seneschal's chest.
Yeah, agree. First look, that's the way it felt.
Yeah, she did.
If it's anything, it's offensive. Coming up with a steal, Rakia Jackson rips it away. Tennessee wins the possession back. Jackson on the hezzy. Juhas got a hand on it. Like it might have lasted Jackson, but it's going to stay here with Tennessee. Still plenty of time to operate. Been an intense game.
It really has. You're just waiting for that next Tennessee run to really get the crowd engaged again.
Horston, there was the deep seal, but no finish from Franklin, and now the officials come together.
It's nothing, it's just players being feisty. And this is how the game has been played today. Just intensity, grit, both teams.
Held ball, Tennessee could not finish on the interior. Wow, Griffin able to spin out of trouble. Griffin, and down on the other end, we have I believe maybe an intentional foul.
I think it's just injury. In college basketball, unlike the W, they'll stop it. Let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, both players down. Oh. Edwards tries to get up. Does Rickea Jackson hold her leg? Right? I mean, we need to see another angle, clearly.
They're looking to see whether or not this is an intentional foul.
The call on the floor is under review.
They're going to take a look at this.
But what was the call on the floor? Well, let's take a look here. Players boxing out. They both go down. Leah Edwards is there. Rickea Jackson's kind of on her. Tough to see. Okay, so she's on her. Leah. So you see Rickea Jackson push Aaliyah Edwards' leg down, and then as Edwards is trying to get up, she then kicks Jackson. So if an intentional foul is called, the other team gets 2 shots and the ball.
Right. It's become a busy night for Eric Bruton, Gina Cross, and Joseph Vasili.
It's become a busy night.
Our 3 officials had to call 1 million block charges. Some other feisty moments. Now a intentional foul.
So when you call an intentional, you can go and review, and you can decide it's nothing.
Right.
That's what you choose to do. Get another look at it. I think it's right there, that second part.
The call on the floor will stand. A double intentional was called on 4 black and, on 3 black and 2 white. Ball will be put in play at the point of interruption, which is on UConn's inline.
So a double intentional foul, and Connecticut will retain possession. Now Gina Auriemma and Kelly Harper will get the explanation together.
What was the intentional part on Aaliyah Edwards? The kick at the end, you think?
I think so. There was the grab, obviously, on the Tennessee side of things, but then I think from Edwards, probably the kick.
Just so you know, if you grab my leg, I'm going to kick you.
I'll be sure to avoid that. Mule is going to inbound for Connecticut. And that is number 4 on Rickea Jackson. That's the most consequential aspect of that play. So Jackson now on the bench for Tennessee as Edwards draws the foul on Hollingshed. And Aaliyah Edwards is going to shoot 2 as Jackson will be a spectator for some time now for Tennessee.
She's been impactful, especially when she's driven in and gotten her shots up. She's gotten to the free throw line, only 1 of 4 from there, but she's gotten there.
11 points, 5 rebounds for Rickea Jackson. And Edwards sinks both. Aaliyah Edwards, 21 points. Lopez Seneschal, 21 points to lead the way for Connecticut. Lead is back to 14 for the Huskies. Horston's floater is good. Jordan Horston with 18.
Yeah, without Jackson in there, you want Horston to get as many touches as possible, not only because she can score, but she is so good at finding teammates off her own dribble penetration.
Here's Lopez Seneschal. Gives it up. Fading, taking, a little bit of a force there, and a whistle underneath. It's going to stay right here as Puckett is called for the foul. Connecticut is in the bonus, so they'll head to the line. Juhas will toe the strike. Dorka Juhas sinks the first. Connecticut still hoping at some point to get back Daisy Fudd as well as Caroline Ducharme, two huge pieces.
Two shooters who can give you spacing that you desperately need.
You see how well this group has played without them and then without Paige Beckers, and you just wonder what would have been if everyone was healthy. As Horston doing her best to keep Tennessee in it. 21 for Jordan Horston. 11-point game, slight difference game in shot clock. Mule, and Edwards was clearly grabbed by Hollingshed, and that is going to be her third. And Edwards is going back to the line.
Aaliyah Edwards just working and working, and sometimes as a post player it can be frustrating when you're open right away and your teammates don't see you, so you can either stop working or keep working, and she continues to keep working on this possession and eventually gets a scoring opportunity here at the line.
Edwards sinks the first. 6 of 7 from the line for Aaliyah Edwards. And another 7 of 8 for Edwards. A nice luxury when your big can shoot her free throws as well as Edwards has tonight. 23 now. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Turned over. Juhas was able to snare it away from Walker, and that'll do it for the third. Connecticut regains control of this game. They lead by 13 as we head to the fourth.
Connecticut with 28 points in the third quarter, 22 of them coming courtesy of 2 players. Lou Lopez Seneschal, she's gotten it done inside and out, and Aaliyah Edwards as well. Those two with a great third frame.
Well, after a huge first quarter, UConn put up just 7 in the second, but bounced back with a big third. Let's take a listen back to Gino Auriemma at halftime with Holly Rowe.
How do I address it? You don't address it. This is what you get when you come down here. The game was called one way, and then it changed. Nope, nothing else changed. We didn't change. Nothing else changed.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, Gino Auriemma's team certainly responded in a big way in the third.
Well, it started on the defensive end for them. They made sure to not get fouls called. They were stepping back, hands back, so that they didn't get those fouls. And then if officials are calling a lot inside the paint, what do? You attack the paint.
Right.
And Connecticut did that much better in the third quarter. Got to the free throw line 10 times in the third quarter. So certainly an emphasis put on, all right, let's try to get ourselves to the free throw line after Tennessee was there so much in the second quarter.
So a plus 16 in the first. Tennessee had a terrific second. Will they have a big fourth? Horston comes up with a steal and lays it in. Jordan Horston has been everywhere tonight.
And when Tennessee has made their runs, it has started on the defensive end of the floor. Horston leading the charge. Oh,
nice look. Juhas to Griffin for 2.
And that's what you got to do when a team is overplaying as much as Tennessee is right now in terms of their defensive pressure.
Griffin 6 for 8 from the floor, 13 points. Jackson back in, playing with 4 fouls. Hollingshed curls it in off another offensive rebound for Tennessee. That is their 19th of the game.
And Hollingshed's 6th offensive board of the game. She's been all over it.
Uhas facing up. Over to Mule. And Griffin just threw it away. Edwards couldn't establish position. Remember, it was turnovers in the second that really were the issue for UConn. They turned it over 7 times in that second quarter after no turnovers in the first. Wow, Mule just picked the pocket, timed that perfectly, and lays it in. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
That is unbelievable right there from Nika Mule. She has played every second of this ball game. Think of the condition this woman is in to play every moment and then have that kind of energy. She gets the steal and then turns on the Jets the other way. What a stalwart Nika Mule, unbelievable.
And then an offensive foul going the other way, called against Hollingshed, her 4th. Yeah, UConn starters play 82% of their minutes. Only Chattanooga and DePaul starters play a higher percentage. This is a Connecticut team that is without several starters.
2 of the best players in the country sitting side by side on the bench, unable to play. Azzi Fudd and Paige Beckers.
That's right. Paige for the season. Azzi re-injuring her knee. Griffin will get called for the foul. That will be number 4 on Aubrey Griffin. It's a lot of firepower on that Connecticut bench. Ice Brady also out for the season. That happened before the year began as well. No timetable yet on a return for Azzi Fudd or Ducharme. So Griffin stays in the game with those 4 fouls. It ends up in the lap of Puckett, who lays it in. 72-61, Connecticut in front. Oh, great position. Uhas on a beautiful delivery from Edwards.
High-low pass, really well executed.
Connecticut number 1 in Division I in assists per game.
Jordan Horston getting a quick blow on the bench right now, and you would anticipate that when Griffin comes out, it'd be a perfect time to put Horston in because Griffin's the best defender for her.
Here's Walker. Walker into the paint, can't flip it in. Griffin on the run. Poke from behind, and it's going to stay with Connecticut as Patterson will check in for Connecticut. And Horston back in for Tennessee. I think someone just saw that coming.
Well, right now, Patterson will get the assignment on Horston when it goes to the other end of the floor, but that's going to be a tough guard for her.
You know, Holly Rowe was talking about Nika Mule and her incredible endurance. Aubrey Griffin as well. This is her first break of the game. Another 3! Lopez Seneschal putting on a show at Rocky Top. Horston gets inside and lays it in. 25 for Horston. 24 for Lopez Seneschal.
Nika Mule, a terrific defender, but too small when Horston gets her on the block.
And Gino Auriemma is going to take a timeout. 6:18 to go in the 4th. Connecticut holding on to a 14-point lead, and the story continues for Lou Lopez Seneschal.
Not only the scoring, 24 points, but the efficiency, 10 of 14. Back in Knoxville, where Lou Lopez Seneschal continues to light it up. Connecticut running actions to get her shots. Flare screen, beautifully set by Aubrey Griffin, and nice little friendly bounce for Lopez Seneschal. Nika Mule always going to have her head up in transition. Defense closing out pretty well. Lopez Seneschal still draining it, and then off of the inbound, she doesn't need much space. So quick to get her feet set and shoulders squared. 4 of 6 from 3 in the game today. Has she had a wide open look? Not many.
No. 24 for Lopez Seneschal, 23 for Edwards. Jordan Horston with 25 to lead Tennessee. Lady Vols cut this to a 2-point game. They trailed by 16 in the first half. Cut it to 2 with 8:12 to go in the third, but could never tie it up, and Connecticut able to reestablish themselves. Has been able to maintain a double-digit lead over the last few minutes. It's 14 right now with 6:18 to go.
Here's a zone for Tennessee. Tennessee's first possession of zone, and a great job getting the trap and then the turnover.
There is the steal. Walker ahead to Jackson, playing with 4 fouls. Here is Horston.
I know coaches love that. You're drawing up a play in your huddle for a man-to-man defense, and Kelly Harper switches it up.
Here's Jackson. Oh, nice decision. Uhas came over and took it off the spin. After the 21st offensive rebound from Tennessee.
Now back into man-to-man.
And that is going to be a foul on Franklin. That'll be the first on Franklin. Hey, on Sunday, catch an ACC top 25 matchup between number 7 Notre Dame and number 20 NC State. The Irish tied at the top of the conference standings, looking for their 5th straight win. Women's college basketball between number 7 Notre Dame and number 20 NC State Sunday at 3 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. And that one is going the other way. Edwards and Franklin tied up, and Edwards will be whistled for her 3rd.
Aaliyah Edwards always posts up strong and with force, and that time Franklin was waiting for. Does she displace her? Absolutely she does.
Yep. Franklin knew it too.
Yeah.
When the celebration happens as the fall is still ongoing. Real conviction there from Jasmine Franklin.
How about this? Man-to-man, Aaliyah Edwards, the one tasked with guarding Jordan Horston, the 6'3" power forward.
Horston turns, flips, doesn't get the roll. Another offensive rebound. Jackson lays it in. That's 22 boards from Tennessee. A 20-10 advantage in second chance points, which actually isn't as great a disparity as it could be given the rebounds. The shot, it is pure. Lopez Seneschal again.
Real and spectacular?
I'd say that's fair. A season high 26 for Lou Lopez Seneschal.
Wondering who is going to guard Jordan Horston. This is Aaliyah Edwards. This is why she's a complete player. They can put her out on a guard on the perimeter.
Jackson lost it, trying to get it back. Possession arrow belongs to Tennessee. Tennessee riding a 9-game winning streak. UConn 11 straight. This is the first time these teams have played with full fans at Rocky Top in more than a decade. Jackson off the mark. Mule got a hand on it. The battle won by Tennessee, their 23rd offensive rebound, and then a held ball, and this time it is Connecticut possession. You see the winning streaks on the line. Tennessee has not beat UConn since 2007. Of course, these teams went more than a decade without playing then. Renewed it in 2020 after last playing in 2008. And since renewing this rivalry, Connecticut 3-0. 409 away from making it 4-0.
You're gonna have to take care of the basketball, though. Tennessee's pressure has given them some problems. I'll tell you what, Kelly Harper has to be pleased with the fight and the grit. We heard her using those words in the locker room at halftime that her team has shown continuously through this game. Been relentless on the offensive glass.
Horston, offside rim, no. Tilts out of bounds. Hey, tonight after our game, we'll send you to the Australian Open. And the men's semifinal, number 3, Stefanos Tsitsipas and Karin Khachanov, number 18, face off at 10:30 Eastern for a spot in the final, the Australian Open men's semifinal tonight at 10:30 on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Connecticut wisely using clock.
Juhas, you bet! Largest lead of the night for Connecticut. It has ballooned to 17. Jackson has it stripped. Patterson comes up with a steal. And Connecticut with a firm grip on this game with 3 minutes to go. And Gino Auriemma will take a timeout. Horston, little ginger jog back to the bench. You could see just kind of grabbing behind that left knee. 13 assists now for Nico Muehl.
Just really good at the drive and kick. Eyes always up, looking for open teammates. Great job there, getting the paint touch and then delivering it back out. Considering Jordan Horston eating something on the bench and the way she grabbed that calf, it looks very much like a cramp.
Gino Auriemma's team on the brink of another win at Tennessee as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, this has been a season full of adversity for UConn, and not only the injuries and the players who've been out, but Gino Auriemma personally. He lost his dear mother, Marciela, at 91 years old, and it was difficult. He said, I just couldn't sleep, filled with grief, a difficult time in his life, and then he got sick, and he had to take some time. He had to step away from this team and know that he needed a break emotionally and mentally, and Gino coming back better than ever and really helping his team in this moment. A beautiful thing for Gino as he mourns the loss of his mother. She was so wonderful, and we are all so grateful that we got to meet her.
Well, Gino Auriemma in his 38th season as the head coach of UConn. Most national championships in D1 history. Only Tara Vanderveer with more wins. And Rebecca, I know for you, one thing that you wanted to keep in mind tonight was we don't know if we will see Gino Auriemma on the sidelines here at Rocky Top again. Could this be his final game coaching in this arena?
I think considering, all the adversity that he has been through this year, it's a fair question to ask. And I certainly, as I'm watching Connecticut this year, and him coach, it's through a slightly different lens of more appreciation, because we've seen him do what no one else has ever done, winning 11 national championships and setting a standard in women's college basketball. And we don't know how much longer he will be doing it. So level of appreciation every time he's on the sidelines.
Hollingshed bodies in, couldn't quite finish it, and it's corralled underneath by Lopez Seneschal. Coming on 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Edwards jumper is good. Aaliyah Edwards now with 25, Lopez Seneschal with 26. And a 19-point Connecticut lead. as they get ready to lock down their 12th straight victory. Despite all their injuries, they are a very dangerous team. Horston has really performed admirably tonight. 27 for Horston, and that's going to be the 5th and final foul on Rakia Jackson, as Horston is still kind of banging that calf.
It's a Tennessee team that started the season struggling a little bit because they had such a strong schedule. They found their footing once SEC play started. But as they integrate a couple of starters early in the season, or transfers early in the season, they had a couple transfers in the starting lineup, and Jackson and Powell, as you see Jordan Horston leaving the floor. It's a Tennessee team that's just going to really continue to get better under the leadership of Jordan Horston. I mean, this is certainly a team very capable of making it at least to a Sweet 16.
Horston is tied a season high with 27. Kelly Harper's team will take on LSU on Monday. That's a heck of an SEC showdown.
It certainly is. Undefeated LSU, Angel Reese leading the nation in offensive rebounds. That's going to be a fun game to watch just on the boards.
Mule, no. Edwards can't finish it. Connecticut got out to a 16-point lead early in this game. Tennessee used a torrid second to fuel a comeback that got to within 2 in the third, but then Connecticut retook control, and they've been able to maintain a double-digit lead for most of this fourth. It will be a wire-to-wire win for Connecticut. Edwards jumper, no. Mule comes up with a rebound, about an 8-second difference game in shot clock. Shot clock down to 3. Lopez Seneschal gets it off. And 8 seconds left. It is all cosmetic at this point. A terrific atmosphere here at Rocky Top. A gritty, physical game. Connecticut prevails at Tennessee. 84-67 the final, as Connecticut wins its 12th straight game. Kelly Harper and Gino Auriemma exchange a handshake. Nika Mule, a huge night with 14 assists, 1 shy of her career high. And Gino Auriemma is standing by with Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Auriemma, you were fired up at halftime, but this team came out and really separated in the second half. What was the difference for your group?
You know, what happens, there's nothing I can do about it. And I admire these kids, and I'm so proud of them. But we came out and we ran them that first quarter, right? And then we get tired. And in a normal situation, now you sub guys out and you keep them fresh. Well, we start to wear down, and then we start making mental mistakes, and then they just came after us hard on the boards. And then, you know, things got out of hand. And we got a chance to rest at halftime. We come out, and we became a little bit more the aggressor, and that changed the tide of the game.
Some really gritty, tough performances. Lou Lopez Seneschal, how do you describe this kid from Fairfield coming in, making this impact on your program?
Because, you know, when you're a pro, you're a pro. It doesn't matter what what school you came from, you know. She didn't come from out of the wilderness, you know. Joe Frager's a hell of a coach out there. He just retired. But she knows how to play basketball, and she knows how to score. And she's a mature kid, you know, and there's no substitute for a kid who doesn't get rattled. And she just has one of the most beautiful strokes, you know, you've ever seen. And that's why she came to UConn. She wanted to play in these kind of games more often. And in every big game we played this year, she's been unbelievable.
You know, I thought Nika Mule was also unbelievable. Almost broke her own school record for assists. How do you describe the toughness that she gives to your team?
You can't. You can't. I wish I could, and I wish I could bottle it, but you can't. Nika has a certain quality inside of her. You know, she has a Jen Rosati quality, you know, like she's little, but she's tough and she's hard-nosed and she never backs down to anybody, and she thinks there's nothing she can't do on the court. I mean, she gets a little carried away with that. But I love her anyway.
Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Lou, Coach said that you came to UConn for moments like this, to play in games like this, but how do you rise to such a level of play for this occasion?
I just try, you know, not to like overthink. That's my main concern, and you know, just play under pressure. I've always loved moments like that. Even in Fairfield, whenever we had big games, you know, I just enjoy having a big crowd. It's always exciting, and I just try not to put too much pressure on myself.
You are a little girl growing up in France. How do you now put your name in this historic rivalry, UConn, Tennessee? Now you're going to be the name that goes down in history.
It's crazy. I mean, you know, like I don't think I'm going to realize it until, you know, maybe a year from now, but I'm just super blessed, you know, to be here. 5 years ago, I would never think, you know, I could like be on national TV and play with UConn, and it's just an honor.
Tavia and Messi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Lou Lopez Seneschal, 26 points. Terrific performance. UConn wins it for our producer, Kerry Callahan, our director, Mike Roy, Holly Rowe, and the Hall of Famer, Rebecca Lobo. I'm Ryan Rucco. Coming up next, it's the Australian Open.